from the Heart.
Hello and welcome back to Horror from the Heart. We're on episode 13, lucky 13. Alright. So, with this one, I kind of want to get into, as I was saying in a previous episode, real life horror. And what I mean by real life horror, that could include anything from true crime to like some of the paranormal stuff that people experience. And the whole reason why I consider that under real life type of stuff is because it's real life experiences that people end up having, not something that's scripted or something that, they're reading or anything like that. So I had been recently reading a book called Poltergeist and Other Hauntings. So I wanted to talk about ghosts and poltergeists because I really find it kind of interesting. I know there's plenty of people that are out there that either do believe or don't believe in ghosts, and there's plenty of people out there who will give you a real life account of, I've had an experience with the ghost, or I've had an experience with the poltergeist. And I find that really kind of interesting in a lot of ways, because like me myself, it's like I couldn't tell you that I've ever really had an experience with like, an actual ghost or anything like that. But I remember being, late teens, roughly late teens, going out and doing like the paranormal investigation stuff. And of course, this was before they did all like the TV shows, and that just goes to show how prominent stuff like that is, because, there were plenty of TV shows that were out there as far as like these groups that would go out and either debunk or, quote unquote, prove that, these hauntings were actually existing. Because apparently like a lot of these shows would set stuff up, because it's like, you can't like, go over there and actually make stuff like that happen a lot of times, but it's also one of those things that ghosts and poltergeists and things like that are actually really prominent in movies and fiction and video games and all that kind of stuff too. But they're based on like real life kind of things, heck, even, like the idea of Freddy Krueger was kind of based on a real life type of stuff, of a horror incident. Now, that I wouldn't say that was like a ghost or a poltergeist, but in that kind of, thing where it's like it's a real life type of thing. Now, the movie Poltergeist, of course, speaks for itself. If you haven't seen that movie, it's well worth the watch, definitely. First and second one for sure. Third one, it's okay. Let's just put it that way. But it really kind of delves into that. And then you go, other movies that are out there too, like Beetlejuice or something like that, where it's like it was, he was a poltergeist. Now, one of the things about it, getting into this whole entire aspect of that, was a lot of people associate ghosts and poltergeist within the same kind of thing. It's like it's something that's haunting something. But like reading through this book, it kind of gave me a different perspective on that kind of thing, and I thought it was really kind of neat. Where it's more like, ghosts are those ones that are residual and they continuously stay there kind of thing. It's like you can go over there and talk to somebody who said, no, that place is haunted, don't go there, or that place is haunted, go check it out. Like there's a place that was over here, like they would have a book that if you experienced anything, hey, go sign our book and put down what kind of experience that you had. Or people would go around and say, oh, well, I was touched on the back, or I was pushed, or something like that. And people are like, yeah, then you met Henry the ghost, or something like that. Where it's like, that's more of like a ghost association. Whereas like with poltergeist, from what the book said, and it seems to be like if you check into any of the stuff that's out there, even, fiction type of stuff, it does seem to associate in the same kind of way, where it's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like a poltergeist isn't there all the time. Poltergeist comes around, starts off really kind of mellow and shit, and then progresses to be more either aggressive or boisterous in what they do, and then there's a finale to it. Now, they might come back at some point, but there's no definitive, they're always there. This is always going to happen. They do the same thing over and over, because apparently with poltergeist, they're a little bit more... more or less cognitive, kind of, sort of, in their own little way. And I always thought that was kind of interesting as well. It's the factor that it's like people said that they, you could actually like talk to a poltergeist, because some poltergeists apparently do that kind of stuff, or they'll lie to you and it's like, I'm a demon, blah, 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 that kind of thing. But I always thought it was kind of neat that people have had experiences like that kind of stuff. Now, reading through that book as well, it's like it goes through a lot of different kind of hauntings that were there, like some of the ones that like you wouldn't have thought of, just with how they do that kind of stuff. And it talks about the mediums and stuff like that could say, I talk to ghosts, or I talk to past spirits and things like that. And that's one of those things where there's plenty of people out there who believe, or they want to believe, that ghosts and poltergeists and things like that exist, that actually created the whole entire field of mediums. And this was like the 1800s and stuff like that, and people used to have like parlors that they would host this kind of stuff, or they'd have stage shows where they had this kind of stuff. Now, fun fact about that kind of stuff, almost everybody knows who Harry Houdini was. If you don't know who Harry Houdini was, he was one of the most prolific magicians that were out there. He tragically died doing one of his own stunts and everything like that, but that's what he did. But apparently, reading through that book, that was one of the things he liked to do, was debunk mediums, because to him it was, you're basically doing the same thing I'm doing, but you're claiming that it's real, and I don't like that. So I thought it was pretty neat that Harry Houdini was out there debunking all these stage shows and mediums and things like that. Now, that's one of those things right there where, going from the ghost and poltergeist to going into like people who either feel like they can talk to spirits, or feel like they experience that kind of stuff and have like a kind of a connection with that kind of thing. Now, a lot of people don't get, freaked out about those types of people, and they usually either they believe what they're saying, or they pass them off as kind of like crazy people and things like that. Which, myself, it's like I believe there's people out there who can sense that kind of stuff. I don't know about talking with things, but I know they can definitely sense that kind of stuff. But going into that, like I said, it's like, because I know I'm a believer as far as ghosts, but there's plenty of people out there who get freaked out and scared as far as knowing or not knowing whether or not ghosts are real, or poltergeists are real, and things like that too. Paranormal events like that. So, gonna make it like a little bit of a shorter episode this time, simply because I'm really kind of curious if any of you guys out there believe in ghosts, or believe in poltergeists and hauntings and things like that. If you do, why? And if you don't, why? Or are you one of those people out there who feel like they can actually talk with ghosts and have communication with the spirits from beyond? Because some people might not, associate this with like horror type of stuff, but for me it always is, because it's that whole, in the beginning, of explaining it, shocking and kind of terrifying for a lot of people out there. It's more of a real life horror, in my opinion. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor, give a like, leave a comment down below. You can leave a dislike too if you don't like it. I mean, hey, that's completely up to you. But if you're listening to this on a podcast or anything like that, give me a comment. You guys give me a share if you enjoy this. Share it with people, for sure. And tell them there's some crazy dude out there spouting off stuff all about horror stuff, and he kind of rambles. But we think we like his voice. I mean, we think we do. We're just not sure yet. But with that, if you want to, reach out to me on Twitter as well, at HorrorFTH, because I do post on there every once in a while, retweets and all that fun stuff. Up ahead, one of the things that I wanted to try and do, just as a side note, like a PS type of thing, I recently got a VR headset, and I wanted to see if I can find any kind of like horror related games or things to experience on that, and see if I could actually hopefully get that kind of stuff recorded and possibly post it up on the YouTube channel as well. So kind of keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. So like next episode, I'll pop on here if I was able to get anything uploaded to YouTube for it. I will let you guys know. But with that, you guys stay safe out there, and y'all have a good one, and I hope to see you in the next episode.